Welcome back, WINJECT community. I just want to welcome you and offer you a bit of gratitude for your being here, for participating, and actually supporting the WINJECT community. I want to also mention that this time of year, it's the 16th of December. And regardless of where you are in the world, or regardless of what you're doing, there are people around us that celebrate the holidays, from Thanksgiving to New Year's. Sometimes some people, there's Hanukkah, there's all kinds of celebrations going on. And I just want to recognize the fact that not everyone is in the mindset that this is the best time of year. Some of the things that are going on around us, or some of the things that we've experienced in our past, may influence how we feel about the holidays. And this comes to mind specifically for me, and I can only share my story, is that Thanksgiving a few years ago was the last time I saw my son alive. The following spring, Cinco de Mayo, he committed suicide. A year ago, Father's Day, my dad passed away. So when we think of holidays, it may not necessarily always be in the most celebration of life kind of atmosphere. And these experiences and these episodes that we have in our life are lessons that we can actually learn from and actually grow from. As painful as they may be at the time, it's still worth reflecting back and understanding what we want to do with this experience. How do we want to live? How do we want to appreciate life in its fullest? And it took me years to understand some of these principles as I've been divorced for, over 20 years. And there was a lot of baggage that was built up as a result of being divorced and, not being able to access my kids as like I wanted to, and the responsibility and the requirements of a split family, and all of the baggage that goes with that, and also the opportunities that go with that. And I was talking to my youngest son the other day, and we were talking about camping. And one of the things that I used to love to do is go mountain biking and camping with my boys when they were growing up. And it took me hours to go pick them up. It took me hours to go get them. And I had them certain times, and certain times of the year, and certain times of the, on the weekends. And so when I could go pick them up, a lot of times we went camping, and they learned how to camp. They learned how to go out and do things. They learned how to, grew up on a farm, so they knew all about animals. They knew all about all these experiences. And the gift that I was able to at least participate in was that they had an understanding about life from a new perspective. They knew how to chop wood. They knew how to run a tractor. They knew how to run a chainsaw. They knew how to build a shed. They had life skills that were not necessarily from a sheltered perspective. And we went mountain biking. We toured all over the Western United States, mountain biking in national parks and camping. And what I want to bring to the table is, even though the divorce was challenging, and it took me years to kind of understand what I needed to learn from that process and how I needed to feel about it. And at the same time, there's also an opportunity to think about how we're living, what we're doing with that information. And I can look at my son now and appreciate the skills and the tenacity he has for living full on, doing great work, going camping, living his life, and working to be an amazing human being. My oldest son, he had what seemed to be, it appeared to be, from all outside appearances, was a great life as well. He had people around him that loved him. He had people around that cared for him. He was in a program. He was almost getting ready to graduate from a trade school where he was a journeyman pipe fitter. He had a great job. He had, animals and people around him. And something triggered him that caused him to take a different a different approach to his life. The pirate's not a pirate without a pirate. There you go. And the reason I bring this up is not to feel sorry or not to pity or anything like that, but to frame our feelings in a way that sometimes the holidays are not necessarily the best of times, the fondest memories, and the most joyous of occasions. And so with that also, one of my mantras is kindness is cool and smiles are free. And there's a reason that I say that is because you don't know what people are going through. You don't know the pain and the agony that they might be working themselves through in order to make that decision. Do I stay or do I go? And trust me, I've had my dark moments where it would be much easier at the moment I was feeling this to know that nobody would care, nobody would miss me, and I just want to stop the pain. And I'll expand on this story one day. And it took me a lot of years to understand that being alone or being by myself and creating my own journey requires a little bit of due diligence, a little self-reflection, self-understanding, and being present. I can't tell you how many journals I filled up with scribbles of just emotion pouring out. Not that I could read them today, because I just wanted to get it out. And I was talking to a friend earlier, and the idea of this, we have to protect ourselves. We have to build a wall, and we have to protect how we feel about things, especially as a man, and I'm just going to put it out there. There's a lot of things you grew up with that, it's like, okay, I have to be a certain way, a stoic behavior, it's neither good or bad. It just is. That's the way it is. And that's the way it needs to be. And there's a lot of times where I've stuffed my feelings, I've stuffed my emotions, and I've restricted my outcomes and the way I was feeling, because that's the way I was supposed to be. That's the way I was supposed to grow up. That's the way I was supposed to treat myself. And I'm here to tell you that that's not necessarily the most healthy outcome you can come out with. You have to work through this. You have to work through the pain. I was talking with Trisha this morning on the Pirate broadcast, and we had a terrible connection, and it was unfortunate, and it was what it was. No reason to get upset about it. No reason to freak out or anything like that. It just happened to take place. And that's what life does, is it happens to take place while we're looking for the next thing. And now is temporary. We don't have to live in the future. We don't have to live in the past. And we now have the opportunity right now to understand what it is that we're feeling? What is it we're holding us back? What are we holding on to? Right? An anchor can create stability, or it can hold you back. And sometimes it's only a matter of perspective that we get this insight, as it were. There are many times that we have to think about what it is that we're really feeling. And is this a reflection of an imperfection that we have in ourselves that we're projecting on other people? I did a post. I've done a post several times on why do I get triggered when people leave their cart in the middle of the parking lot? Or why, when you're working in an office and there's a garbage can 2 feet away, that somebody leaves trash on the counter? It's something I don't understand. And for some reason, what is it about me that has that, what the heck? Why is this taking place kind of thought process? These emotions that we come up with. And that's a small thing, that's not going to impact life, or, nobody's going to, I don't have road rage over shopping carts. Trust me. The fact remains that we have an opportunity to work through these things. And if you need help, there's help available. I just want you to discover that process that allows you to unlock the journey that you need to go on in order to get past and through and beyond this piece of pain in your life, whatever it happens to be. Suicide has never been higher. And there's a reason for that. And the reason is because people don't feel like there's any hope in their life. They don't feel as if there's any way, there's no reason to stick around. What's the point? And from somebody that has lost somebody to suicide, I can tell you right now that there is a point. You matter. People care. And I don't know that anyone wants to go up against the comparison of your pain is greater than my pain if you commit suicide. It's a lost argument. There's no reason to have that conversation. The reality is I don't want to see you in this much pain. I don't want to see anyone in this much pain. I don't want to see anybody thinking about that, yet it takes place all the time. We're walking in the grocery store, we're going shopping, and there's probably half the people that that are around you in the store have considered it, are considering it, or maybe will succeed at it. And that's a terrible thing to think about. So on these holiday activities and this reason that we're here, we need to be cautious and we need to be considerate of other people and listen, pay attention, understand what other people are going through. There's no reason why we have to go through life suffering. No reason at all. And I just wanted to share that with you today because I know that Christmas can be an amazing, magical time. Holidays could be an amazing, magical time. And whatever your belief is or whatever your philosophy is, there's a lot of stress around Christmas time. There's a lot of stress around the shopping process. What gifts should I give? Will I give enough? Do I give enough? Do I have everything I need? What can I do? Are the meals prepped? Everything else. And this additional stress, I think it kind of it takes away from the true meaning of what these holidays are supposed to and are tended for, is love and compassion. That's how I look at it. Love and compassion, and the fact that we are here and we are able to be here, and everything that we should have, everything that we have, and everything that we're working for, we have gratitude for. The smallest things in the world, a drink of water, the internet, the fact that I can actually broadcast this to the WINJECT community. There's no reason why we can't find something in our life that we understand and appreciate. So I just want to extend this challenge out to you, that you'll take a moment, reach out to somebody, tell them you care. Maybe somebody you haven't heard from or you haven't seen for a while. And it doesn't have to be elaborate. It doesn't have to be a big theatrical event. Just reach out and say, hey, wanted to check in, see how you're doing. And I challenge you to do that with a handful of friends or family, and just let them know that you're thinking about them. Sometimes that makes the difference. Sometimes that's what matters most in our life. And if you're struggling and you're listening to this at any point in the future or right now, people care. I care. There's people out there that love you. And you need to know that we can all make it matter. And we are a community. Whether we agree on topics or subjects, we have the ability to actually help each other along the journey. And that's the whole premise, and that's the whole philosophy of what we're doing in the WINJECT community, is we want to encourage people to help each other out. We want people to understand that this is something that we can actually contribute to, and we can actually support each other in. And as a solopreneur or a freelancer or an entrepreneur, there are so many days where you're thinking, man, what am I doing this for? Why am I here? How am I contributing? What impact am I making? Because you can be up on the top of the world. I just booked another client. I'm excited about this project. I have this collaboration taking place. I'm really excited and looking forward to the opportunity. And then something later in the day can just go sideways, and you're thinking, wow, all that nice breeze on my sails just turned into a tornado. And I got a storm coming, and I got this anchor here and I can't get out of the way. I gotta survive this thing. I gotta stay in it. I gotta figure this out. And the thing about charting your own journey and moving in your own direction and preparing yourself for future events, no 2 days are going to be the same. I don't think I can count a week where I've gone friction-free, fabulous the entire week or the entire month. There's ups and downs in every day. There's reasons why we're challenged by this. And they're what I considered blessings in disguise. Because even though we may not know why they're happening, there's a reason they're happening. And that is to temper our ability and drive our experience to where we need to be. Because nothing is static. If you stop learning, you stop growing. And that's the day you start growing old. Momentum, forward motion, momentum keeps us live, keeps us living. it keeps us thriving, and it keeps us evolving as an individual. And yeah, you'll have good days and bad days. However, take those little bites of experience and say, look at them like they're not us. We are not them. They're our experience. It's an experience that is taking place, and it's for us. Think about what is happening for us, not to us. And when you shift that perspective, you can actually think about, okay, that's something I didn't achieve the results I needed to achieve, or I didn't put in the effort necessary to achieve the outcome that I wanted and expected. And what happens to me a lot of times, full transparency, is that this is going to take me a half hour when it probably is going to take me an hour and a half or a day and a half. And there are a lot of times where these experiences and what I would, some people would categorize as disappointments or frustrations or failures, they're just experiences that we have to work through in order to achieve the opportunity to become someone that we need to be in order to accomplish our goals, our mission. And my mission in life is to help more people. It's the flywheel effect. And this is what we're doing with WINJECT, is we're creating this flywheel effect where we increase the experience of the community to help more people. That's why I love this attitude of generosity and abundance. Rather than thinking something is being taken away from me, it's like, how much can I contribute to this cause? How much can I contribute to this outcome? And what can I give? Because when I'm gone, all that experience, all that effort, all that energy goes with me. I can't transport that information unless I do something just like this. And this lesson, this information, this conversation, it's a legacy. Somebody may hear this, in the future, beyond when I long since gone. Who knows? We don't know that. We are in the infancy of this medium going forward and producing results for other people. Think of all the authors that you read, Think and Grow Rich, The Secret of Success, all of these books and titles that Earl Nightingale, and think about the lessons that they teach and the lessons that, going back to the Greek philosophy and, Socrates and Plato and all of these people that are spending a lot of time thinking about how life should be. These are all experiences that have moved forward that contribute to our experiences. And this is nothing different than what we're doing as well. Whatever we're putting out, that is an experience and an opportunity for somebody to see it as entertainment, as a philosophy, as an event that took place in history. And I just want to make sure that you have gratitude and you have an appreciation for what you're contributing to the world right now. Because I know that you're extremely valuable. And I just want to pass that along. If you're listening to this or if you're hearing this, I just want to make sure that you matter. And you can go out to other people and you can make it matter. And the only difference is a little bit of kindness, a little bit of generosity, and a little bit of empathy that you can put out into the world and help others. Because it's really hard and it's really challenging to feel sorry for yourself when you're helping somebody else and lifting somebody else up and contributing to a bigger cause. And volunteering, contributing, supporting others is really what it's all about when you're able to see the value and the benefit of contributing. Your contributions can make a difference in somebody's life. People are watching. People are noticing. People are sharing content. And so when you put content out there, make sure that you're putting some of yourself in there. It's okay to be vulnerable, and it's okay to be open with how you feel about things. And I just want to make sure that you're not restricting yourself and you're not allowing others to restrict you in your voice and your mission and what it is that you mean and what it is that you want to do in your life. Because we're all here spinning on the same planet, breathing the same air, risking our lives every day, for whatever reason, crossing the street or a meteor flying into us. All of these things could end in an instant in our lives. And it may be outside our control. So take time to reflect on what's important, reflect on what needs to be removed from your life, whether it's a toxic environment, toxic people, toxic thought processes. That little voice inside your head, just tell it to shut up. Find a new voice, replace that voice with something more positive. Start thinking about, I get to do this and I get to do that. Because when you get to do something, it frames it a lot differently than I have to do this. One's a benefit, one's not. I get to do something, even if I don't care for it. I get to do it because it's going to teach me something. It's going to give me some experience. It's going to give me some feedback in my world that I need to learn as a result of being here in this place. So I just thank you, all the gratitude in the world. I love you. And I just want to make sure that you understand that the WINJECT community is here to support you on your journey, your live streaming, podcasting, production, whatever it happens to be. And you have an opportunity to join us, join in, make sure that you have friends and family that know and understand how you're feeling and maybe what you're going through, because it is a journey. And when you have support and you have a team around you, life is so much easier. So with that, kindness is cool. Smiles are free. And I want you to enjoy your day.
Podcast is brought to you by WINJECT Studios. We are an all-in-one educational platform for podcasters that revolutionizes how hosts leverage content to increase engagement with listeners, downloads, and income. We come together to focus on community, collaboration, and collective impact. For more information on how you can interact directly with our hosts, access exclusive live content with offers you can't get anywhere else from our official partners, join our purpose-driven community by visiting www.winject.com. If you're ready to build a career doing what you love, then we're ready to see you there.